Grab a cup of coffee and start your day with Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life features stories to inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. Visit cyacyl.com.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Are you ready to be at the top of your game? Do you want to create a plan with a clear vision for your future? Today's guests, Hoyem and Corey Louchiey, met as teammates in the NFL during their rookie year. After many years apart, they came together with a common mission: to help people live the best version of their life. This mission led them to create the coaching company First in Life. Steve and Corey are here today to explain how we can tap into our limitless potential in order to create the life of our dreams, and to provide strategies to help us face challenges with strength, confidence, and courage. Steve and Corey co-host a sports radio show that's about living life inside and outside of the game. Steve was an offensive lineman for the Buffalo Bills, but his playing career was cut short by injury. Corey spent 5 years protecting Buffalo Bills quarterbacks, including NFL Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, before joining the Atlanta Falcons in 1998. He was a member of the Falcons' NFC Championship team that played in the Super Bowl. Both Steve and Corey are part of the Insightful Player program, which was created by Chrissy Carew. Through Insightful Player, NFL players share their stories and programs with the goal of educating and empowering youth. Good morning, Steve and Corey. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning,
Joan.
Guys, you were both players in the NFL, and most people would say you made it. That's it. When you're a football player, to make it to the NFL, you've realized your dream, and you've had a great life. And I'm sure on a lot of counts you both have, but it hasn't been easy for you. You both have had major turning points in which your life could have taken a much different direction. Steve, let's start with you. You were playing football, but at the same time, you were abusing alcohol. When did you start to drink, and when did you realize that it was becoming a problem?
Great question, Joan. I started drinking early on, just in a way that was not a normal way. A lot of kids might experiment with alcohol or even see their parents doing it and wonder about what that's like. My earliest memory was when I was 8 years old, having that first drink of alcohol and feeling like I had arrived. I had become an adult, and that was something that I had wanted to have more of. And so every opportunity, as I got older and older, I would try to get more and more. And it became easier as I got older because of friends or whatever in situations. But I found myself, if I look back, just isolating more and more. And where it finally dawned on me that I might have a problem with it was after college, and it was something that I wasn't fully aware of. I was only in passing awareness. I said, "Oh, I've got to do something about this." It's kind of like if someone has a headache, they don't look at what might be causing the headache. They just want to take an aspirin. So, I had all these things that I might try to do to, control my drinking or hide my drinking, and it took years and years to finally get to that point where I truly was willing to do whatever it took to stop drinking.
So, Steve, that was after you stopped playing football?
That was long after I stopped playing football.
How did you perform at that level to make it into the NFL with a drinking problem?
My story's not unique in guys being able to go out and perform. That was actually part of my story, was if I was able to perform, I didn't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if that meant I had to show up and feel really bad some days, and some days that was all I could think about was, when will I be able to party or drink and do these things. That was kind of the reward that I would have at the end of a workout or something like that. So, that was how I operated in that environment. I didn't see it as being totally unique, because I would look at every opportunity that where other guys might be going out and partying or having a few drinks. I would see that as validation of what I was doing was normal. Even though I might be doing a little bit more, a little bit differently or whatever, I didn't see those differences. I just looked at the similarities in their behavior and said, "Oh, I'm normal," and went on and somehow managed to function.
Now, looking back, Did your drinking have anything to do with your injury? Do you think there was a correlation?
Well, I think that there might have been some, not the direct cause and effect, but definitely a correlation in my approach. I was my initial knee injuries. I came in college, and I was drinking in college. I was, in addition to drinking, the painkillers that I would get from a surgery became part of the addiction, and certainly I was very motivated to sit back and relax and be in that post-surgical recovery mode, but I didn't do what it took perhaps to make my knee stronger or to do the things to fully rehabilitate. I just kind of went along and drank and took the painkillers that they gave me.
Corey, as I said, you had a longer football career, but you also experienced some turning points in your life. After your football career, your father had passed away and you went through a divorce and a failed business. What did you experience on an emotional level during that time? What was your defining moment? And when did you realize that you were going to take your life in a different direction?
Oh, wow. Great question, Joan. I would have to say, honestly, somewhere around 2008, the stock market crash, that was the day that I can honestly tell you my life totally changed. Obviously, it didn't change for the best at that time, or at least I didn't think so. But I had a lot of defining moments, I guess you would say, in October 2008. First of all, my birthday is on October the 10th. So in the past, I've always set up my annual doctor's visits, for my birthdays. I go in and my doctor just flat out lets me have it. He goes, Corey, I don't know what you're doing, but if you keep this up, there's no if, you will be dead. And I looked at him and he was like, all your numbers are up. High blood pressure, borderline diabetic. I think when I got on the scale, I was 370 pounds, 372 pounds, by far the heaviest I had ever been, Joan. And he challenged me to basically start keeping a food journal. And of course, I didn't do it that day, but slowly, I would say probably within the next 2 weeks, I actually did it. And what I will tell you is the day I finally tallied up the calorie count, I was astonished and I was blown away. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when I say astonished and blown away, I was blown away because I thought, I'm probably eating 6,000 calories, all right, 7,000 calories even. Well, Joan, the first time I actually did it, I thought I was not actually counting right, so I went and got an actual calculator, okay? And it was a little over 14,000 calories. It was actually 14,075 calories, somewhere along that line. And I'm telling you right now, Joan, it really, really shook me. And it shook me for many reasons because, just as you said, I lost my father back in 2003, but he had quadruple bypass heart surgery back in 1989. My mom had it in 1998. So if you look at my gene pool, I was literally, as my doctor told me, I was a heart attack on a plate. And I remember going home and I'm thinking, wow, failed business, overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure, walking heart attack, divorcee, what more can go wrong, okay?
Right.
And for me, it was the ability to just sit down and to take an honest approach, a very honest reflection point. And I think the final dagger, if you will, was I started looking at my finances, and almost to a dollar to the date, 5 years removed, I got to New York in 2004. I started looking at my finances. So every net gain, every net gain that I had made, and I'm rolling, and life is good, and I'm making this money. October 2008, I literally lost it. So you want to talk about a earth-shattering moment is you're hearing your doctor on the one hand tell you you're a walking heart attack, but guess what? I turned into this walking heart attack because of the lifestyle that I chose. I was chasing this dream. I was chasing this money. I was chasing this fame, and I heard it best recently. As a former athlete, as an entertainer, we always try to search and try and hit that quote unquote high note. We want that highest moment again. So for me, it couldn't be football, but it could be in the business world. And I was literally, John, killing myself. So that was the moment. And I started slowly with little things, obviously prayer. And I remember sitting down and I made a pact or a promise. I said, you know what, God, from this day forward, I want to make $1, but more importantly, I want to find a way to make a difference in the lives of everyday, ordinary people. And for the first time probably ever in my life, it wasn't about the next deal. It wasn't about the next call. It wasn't about the next lunch. It wasn't about the next meeting. It was about finding a way to make a fundamental difference in the lives of people. And I've been on that path since.
Well, guys, now that we learned a little bit about you and where you're coming from, we're going to take a break for this week's Good Life Tips. And when we return, I want to talk to you about the lessons you've learned and how we can apply them to live an authentic life. This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman, and our guests today are Steve Hoyem and Corey Louchiey, former NFL players who now provide life coaching services through their company, First in Life. Steve, before break, we were talking about some of the obstacles that you've overcome in your life, and we spoke about your past addiction. And when you go out and you speak to people, what do you tell them about facing challenges head on?
One of the key things that Corey and I like to share about challenges is to really step back and look at them as the opportunity to change or an opportunity to make progress on your path. That is, to embrace and welcome those challenges rather than to avoid or hide or run away from them. And that's, that's the big shift that we try to get people to see, is to see those challenges as an opportunity for growth.
How do you advise them to get past the fear?
The number one thing that Corey and I talk about is embracing this concept of being a hero and changing your story, first and foremost, to get away from feeling like you're a victim or that, these things are happening to you, but rather to embrace that heroic vision and see that one of the necessary transformations of a hero in any heroic opportunity is to go through these challenges and emerge stronger and in a position to serve other people and help other people.
Corey, do you think that people set up their own roadblocks to success?
Well, Joan, when you say set up their own roadblocks, yes and no. And what I mean by that is we're all someone's child, someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's brother, someone's sister. So, we learn as kids, and I'm always amazed the things that happen in our childhood that if we aren't careful can literally carry or follow us into this adulthood life. And I'm learning, once you get out of college and you hopefully get, you find that job and that wife and the kids and the family, it's literally just an extension of your childhood. So, when you say roadblocks, I was taught from a very, very young age that you're only as strong as the people that you surround yourself with, okay? Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact I can go back to my 20s and could see myself steering off that path. So why I wasn't looking at it back then as a roadblock, I realized that, wow, I had personally allowed some people, to come into my circle that probably did not have my best interest in hand. So again, if we want to call that a roadblock, then certainly, yes.
What about getting rid of those negative voices, all those voices that tell you what you can't do? You're not smart enough, you don't have the education, you're not fit enough, you're not strong enough. How do we get past that?
One of the great tools that I have and learned from coaching was being aware of that saboteur that hangs out with us and likes to sit on our shoulder or whisper in our ear, and really identify, are those voices something that is going to be authentically helpful for me? And so number one is just becoming aware of that. And again, that might be part of our story that we've been telling ourselves. So in a way, Are we relating to that and believing that because that's the story that we've been telling? And so identifying the saboteur, identifying the story, powerful ways to kind of break the cycle. Now, it's something that does require some help. And, doing it alone is not the best way. It wasn't my way. I didn't come to this alone. What it took for me was ultimately a friend, a mentor, a coach who was just able to say something that gave me a brief moment of clarity, and I could really see my situation from an entirely new perspective. And immediately the voices of the saboteur became more apparent, and over time I became more alert and aware of what that saboteur voice was and what the authentic voice that I wanted for my future self or my heroic self would be.
If you'd like more information about Steve and Corey, you can visit their website, firstinlife.com, or you can read their stories at Insightful Player. I had mentioned that organization, insightfulplayer.com. Or you can visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on our site, listen to past shows as podcasts, read the digital magazine, sign up for our mailing list, take part in the book club, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Guys, very quickly, before we run out of time, I'd like each of you to just offer one tip that our listeners can employ right away, that they can implement, that would help them to learn how to be true to him or herself, to live an authentic life full of purpose. Steve, let's begin with you.
Okay, Joan. One thing would be forgiveness, and approaching forgiveness in a way that really changes our outlook on what has happened in the past and what's happening right now. And true forgiveness, in my opinion, is able to transform any obstacle into an opportunity.
Corey?
I would have to say, Joan, learning to just be. I think oftentimes in this world and of the social media age and television, we have so many things that are taught and told. Oh, you should be this, you should just be that, this and that. Sometimes learning to just be, accept you for who you truly are, your strengths, weaknesses, so on, so forth. Learning to just be. Once you can accept that, then I think that's when you can truly bring about authentic change.
Guys, I want to thank both of you for spending time with me today. I think you're both great role models. You've overcome challenges and you've really gone on to live a true life, and you're an example for children and you're helping others. So I'm really glad that you took some time to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.